Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African Diaspora News Channel app now on Google Play and Apple App Store. Stay informed with authentic and diverse perspectives, breaking news, and cultural insights. Immerse yourself in a community that celebrates unity, resilience, and progress. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
All right, you guys, we are back. This is Donovan Sadiq, the Inland Empire Informer, also known as the Recovering Democrat. I am with mayoral candidate Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell. This is the second part of our interview here, and we're just kind of getting to know him a little bit because a lot of you guys have come here and you guys don't know the history of this man. And I'm going to tell you guys this. If you get a chance, go to the city website, go to the meetings. This man has been going to the meetings since way back in the early 90s, or not early 90s, but the middle 90s.
Yeah, something like yeah.
In the middle 90s.
Yes.
And you will see Daryl Terrell at City Council talking ideas, his opinions. He's been in the city for a very, very long time. So a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. Trust me, I wouldn't tell you guys this if I didn't know for a fact. He's been here for a very long time, and totally impressed with him. He's currently the Moreno Valley. He's on the Moreno Valley Planning Commission, and doing a great job up there. And I'm going to ask some questions about that as well.
Okay.
But let's talk about something that's dear to my heart and to everybody's heart right now. It is summertime right now, and right now, Steve Freeze, the director of the animal shelter.
Okay.
The animal shelter is antiquated. I'm talking about overrun with puppies and kittens right now. There must have been an animal party this spring, and it populated right now. So for those of you guys who are looking for a furry family friend, please go to the animal shelter. Beautiful dogs out there. You guys can check it out. The animal shelter is expanding. I know some resources have been given to the animal shelter to expand. And Steve Freeze and the staff over there, they're doing a fantastic job. But one thing that we do have a problem with Moreno Valley is we do have gentrification of a lot of Los Angeles people who have moved out here to the Inland Empire. Nothing against you guys, but you guys come from a different culture and an environment. And we've got, unfortunately, residents who are doing the irresponsible thing by not neutering and spaying their animals, and it's becoming a problem. What are some of the ideas you might have in regards to citizen awareness about, because the city does do clinics, sometimes free spaying or reduced spaying costs, chipping, adoptions, low-key adoption. By the way, if you're a veteran, we get a special all the time when it comes to adopting a dog. You can get a nice dog for a veteran's price, surgery, and initial vaccination for like $50. But right now, in Moreno Valley, if you adopt a puppy a year and younger, $20. $20 surgery and initial vaccination. $20. So Steve's doing his best to do it, but we are still a kill shelter. What are your stance on kill shelters?
Well, I know, because I used to go to Palm Springs City Council meeting. Because I know their shelter is not a kill shelter.
Most shelters around here are not kill shelters.
Yeah. Well, again, we have best examples of how not to become one of those, which we are, as you stated, is to go and learn from them. Mm-hmm. As I say, I don't have all the answers, but what I do know, I know what works. Mm-hmm. If Palm Springs and a lot of other shelters around here,
Riverside, San Bernardino,
or not
killed,
then we need to find out
why.
How I mean, that's the first thing you have to do, because anybody could throw you a solution out there. But my thing is, I'm being real about it. If I don't know about the subject, but if I know one thing, if they're not a kill shelter, I want to find out why they're not a kill shelter. Mm-hmm. And if there's some things we can do that can mimic what they're doing, that's going to benefit to keep more furry friends alive, then we need to do it.
Right.
I mean, that's the answer I have. I mean, do I have ideas? I'll go to who the experts are, and like I said, those centers over there that's not good, we go and find out.
Yeah, and for the residents that don't know, another reason why the shelter does eventually put these animals down is due to overcrowding. They would love to keep them if they have the space, but in some cases they don't. And then some dogs come in, diseased or whatever, and they've got to put them down, which is, perfectly fine.
I was sitting there thinking, one thing I noticed about when I went to Palm Springs to their city council meeting, they had the dog or the cat. They held them up on the TV. Maybe we could take to a city councilman, bring one of the dogs or cats from the shelter.
And promote.
Yeah, promote it.
And promote
and
it.
say, hey, this is so-and-so. If you want to adopt it, come on over.
Right. Shameless plug, Friends of the Animal Shelter. It's on Facebook or something like that. And I promote it on my page as well. They do a great job in posting new animals that are available in days and things like that. Because I'm an animal lover. I got 4 cats. Found another stray that's out there. I got to get him to the thing.
Well, it's like my landlady. She had 3. Well, she had 4 kittens, little baby kittens, really cute. So it's like, so I pick them up and all.
Yeah,
that.
I mean they do a lot for people, especially in times like this when people are very stressful.
Yeah,
animals are a perfect way to relieve that stress.
I wouldn't want. Just going back to it, I wouldn't want to see an animal get put down.
Right.
And
just because it's alive doesn't make sense.
She got 2 turtles. She got 2 turtles, 3 more cats, and 2 more kittens. She loves animals.
Right.
But the thing, to go back to your question, is I, as being mayor, is one of the things that I could promote is to, at city council meetings, is I know there's people say, oh, that's a simple. I said, yeah, but the thing is, we got to show people we got the animals. Bring them to the council meeting, show them the animals.
Sure. Another thing you could do when you're mayor is an executive order that says you will not kill any more animals in the shelter as long as I'm mayor. You could do an executive order.
As long as we find out how, right?
No, you could do an executive order and say you will not kill any more animals by executive order.
That's
Power of the pen.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's why whenever people say, well, there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. You guys ever hear that? Joe Biden, Obama. I can't do reparations. My hands are tied, but you can do dreamers and all this other stuff by executive order.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I could do it legally,
you can.
I would. Well, I'm just saying.
Executive.
No, I'm just saying. Because I don't run the city, of course.
No, you don't.
But I can say if I could do it,
you can do it.
No, if I can't do it, I would do it.
You can do it. Okay.
Well, you hear what I say. You hear what I say. If I legally could do it, I would do it.
So, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of animal lovers out there.
Well, I like animals too.
That's a lot of votes.
I don't want to see an animal get killed and nothing like that if it could be saved.
Sure, absolutely.
But we just got to figure out how can we save them.
Right. Well, the best thing to do, and Steve Freeze, you're doing a great job, and and the staff is doing great over there in promoting responsible owners to get vaccinations and fixings at low cost, sometimes even free. Sometimes they do it even free, depending on what the grant is or whatever. So one of the biggest problems we have in the city, and I've been hollering and screaming this since I was 7 years old. That's in 1977. I've been in this area. We have, and nobody seems to want to address this issue. Daryl,
what's that?
Why is it? I'm a retired person now.
Okay.
That means I have money. I own my home, I own my cars, and whatever.
Okay.
I can go on vacations.
Okay.
There is a senior center that it's been in this area for a very, very long time. And there's nothing wrong with having a senior center. Why is it that we do not have a youth center for a city that is 210,000 people and growing? And we've got roving youths running around, vandalizing, and getting into stuff because there is no jobs or whatever their problem is. But the point is they have nowhere to go.
Well, I agree with you. When I first moved here, we didn't have one. That's about 36 years ago. We still don't have one.
We still don't have one.
But I can remember this lady years ago that I ran into.
But we can build a pavilion that we really don't need over there. Do you see what I'm saying? How our things are?
But see, the thing is, I think we need one. As mayor, what would I do? I mean, that probably be the question.
Yeah.
What could I do?
Yeah.
We have to make it a priority day one, we gonna want to build all these libraries and all this satellites, which is good and fine, but we need a youth center. I can advocate. That's a commitment I can say. I don't make promises I can't keep.
Okay.
But I will say this. I had the same concern about you when I first came here. Where's the youth center? Because where I came from, you had youth centers. Mm-hmm. And you got all this energy going this way, this way, that way, and you have no youth center, community youth center. You have the senior, but what about the youth? I agree. I think it should be, if we ideally we have one, it should be in Edgemont.
Okay. Well, why can't we have two? One east, one west.
Well, we can have multiple. We have it for libraries, storefronts.
Right.
I mean,
why can't we have one in each zone?
I agree, because that should be a priority. The youth, hey, people say they're our future. They here and now. They need to have their energy.
Yeah, people say that, but their actions don't show it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Being mayor, I can advocate it.
Sure.
I'm not saying that this is not lip service. This is something because, again, experience. I benefited going to a youth center. I benefited going to a YMCA, a youth center, whatever. But we need a youth center. We got.
Okay. And let me ask you, let me cut you off. But what a lot of people, like I said, we're dealing with a lot of younger people than we are. So we're older now, and so you got a lot of young families, right? And unfortunately, a lot of these young families, they're working. The parents are working, and unfortunately, there's a lot of single moms out there. And I'm going to tell you, my mother was a widowed mother. If it wasn't for the boys' club, because there wasn't a boys and girls, it was a boys' club. My mom would have been up the Paddle Creek, if you know what I mean, because she had nowhere for us to go and do after school. Like, they weren't after school programs back in that day. So the positives about having a youth center, not only do the kids have a place to go, but it helps the parent that might have to work 6 to 8 o'clock that can take that shift. And then the younger adults could be employed.
Yeah.
Even if it's a part-time job, it's a win all the way around.
Well, I can remember when I used to go to Gresham Park. That's where I'm from DeKalb, in Atlanta. Yeah. And I remember we had a lot of young people that worked at the rec center, at the rec center. That's what we called it, because that's where everybody hung out at.
Right.
But I'm saying, out here in California, everything it seems like it's backwards. From sliding your car backwards at Lowe's. I'm just making a joke of it, but it is. I say, okay, you got parks, but where's the youth center, right? So, being mayor, we got to reverse that trend. I mean, the park master plan, blah, 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 forget about it. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the realistic, what's out there.
Right.
We need youth centers.
Right.
We got more libraries. We building up, but we don't have a youth center. Mm-hmm. We have a rec center, but that's something different than a youth center.
Right.
You got, like you said, a good suggestion. Let's start in Edgemont. Mm-hmm. Work with council member Baca Santa Cruz to make it a reality. Work with her. Let's make this a reality. Before the end of my term, let's get the ball rolling to have a youth community center.
Right.
We need one. I mean, that's just plain and simple. Right. I'm harking about it, but like I said, it's not empty words. But like I told you, Donovan, I'm never going to promise something I can't keep.
You can't deliver.
But I will promise you this. As mayor, I will advocate in strong sense that we need a youth center. And that's why I talk about these excuses. Oh, we can't do this. We can't do that. Forget all that. Mm-hmm. Forget about it. It's a new day that we are going to make it happen. Because I'm about getting things done. Mm-hmm. And like I said, this is important to me as much as it's important about the catalytic converter. We need a youth center. People have been saying that since you was a kid.
40-something years.
40, yeah. Think about it. People have told me this since they've been here. Where's our youth center? And we get this rec center that says, no, where's the youth center? That's not a
right. Center. And it's always senior this, senior this. And we get it. Yeah. Seniors vote and all that. And like I said, God bless you, seniors. But the point is, if you don't take care of the youth and get them some kind of skills, those are the ones that are going to be breaking in your house, breaking into your car, and doing what they're doing. And let me give you guys a tip. If you ever go to a Marine Corps base or a military base, active military base, they have youth centers there. Now, that's the dependent ones. We're talking about for the young Marines.
Yeah.
And they sit in there and they play video games and they play ping pong, and it keeps them
They do homework. They got a little homework.
No. We're talking about the Marines.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Marines themselves, the young Marines. So
okay.
let's say I'm 18, just came out of high school.
Yeah.
What do you think those young military people do? They have centers on the base for the young people to do what young people do today. They like to play Call of Duty. They like to play ping pong and foosball, pool, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just their little area that they could read, watch TV, whatever. Yeah, you have a youth center for the dependents. You have that as well.
Yeah.
But even as young adults, they have a center for these young people to go to have something to do. Because not everybody could get into a club, and there's not a lot of clubs to get into anyway. So what are these young 18 to 24-year-old people going to do?
Well,
they made these things up.
Well, that's why I say that's important important part of the infrastructure of your community. You have a youth center. Right. That's always been important. Right. I mean, because that was a place to go.
Learn some skills, do your homework.
Mom and dad could come pick you up at the end of the day.
Right.
If
they have to stay overtime or whatever, you got those relationships. I learned woodworking there. I learned to work with plastics.
Yeah.
I learned to swim there. You know, all kinds of stuff that I learned because of it. And you know what? I love that boys club so much. The boys club of Fullerton, by the way. I think it's still in existence. That I didn't want to leave.
We got that in common because I didn't want to leave the YMCA because I had so much fun, man.
Yeah.
I aged out, as they say.
Yeah, that's what happened when you age out.
And I was sad.
They used to have the lock-ins and stuff.
Yeah.
They used to have really good, fun things. And that's what I'm saying. We've got these young people that have absolutely nothing to do. So we have to make a difference. And it's been 40 years, so the excuses, I'm done with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because I'm an old man now.
Well, that's exactly the reason why like I said, one of the reasons I'm running, because I'm tired of people saying what we can't do. It's time to say what we can do. You know, our city deserves to have the best of everything. The best malls, the best shopping centers. We deserve to have the best. We shouldn't settle for nothing. There should be no more excuses. Let's get it done. I mean, I'm tired of people telling me what we can't do. Tell me something we can do. Quit building walls up so we can't move forward. And I think the city staff need to start understanding that we need to move forward. I know it costs money, but it doesn't stop us from moving forward. And stop building walls up. It's time for us to get moving the city forward.
Right. So let me ask you this as mayor. If you were mayor, and it would cause a deficit for you to build these youth centers, would you be willing to do that?
If it did cause us to do, I would say again, if we do about bonds or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But if we have a plan to cover the debt service on those things, if we got a plan to fill it up, I mean, you could deficit spend unless you have a plan to fill the holes up.
Well, think about it though.
Yeah,
if you have these youth centers, it's an investment that will keep these kids from vandalizing, which costs you money.
Well, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's an investment that that's going to pay off regardless.
Bond funding would be the way I would go.
Okay.
Bond funding it's deficit, but you have a debt service to pay it back.
Sure.
To pay the bonds off every month. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the money's here.
No, I agree, but it's the thing about priority. That's why I say about priority-based budget. That's one of the reforms I like to see. Is what is the community needs? That's what priority-based budgeting is about. A lot of cities have this because they focus on what the community needs, not what the department needs. What is important to if it's ranked number one, then we need to put our efforts into building those infrastructures like the youth centers or funding for police.
Okay. You know, since we're talking about youth center, let's talk about the senior center.
Okay.
What can you do for the senior center? They're going to expand their parking lot, which I believe is going to cost like $500,000, $2 million. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to expand into the parking lot and whatever. And they've got a lot of great programs for the seniors. God bless you guys, but you guys have money. You guys have money. If I had a choice between a youth center and a senior center, I would pick the youth center every time. Okay, because these people are experienced, whatever it is. But I understand you're older, you want to do things, whatever, and I get it. But what are some of the things that you can do to better expand the senior experience? Because remember, you had that idea of if you're going to build a thing, I say demolish the senior center and make a joint youth and senior center.
That would be good because it bridges the generation.
Right, and they both benefit. You get a new facility.
Yeah. I don't see why it's not feasible, or is it feasible? I think it's a good idea because, again, two generations. It would be nice to have two generations to interact with each other instead of like, oh, that old fogey over there, that old whippersnapper over there, he's no good. But it'd be nice to have the young people because The older generation paid it for the young people.
Right. But by having a joint youth and senior center, you can share resources. You don't have to buy a bunch of computers for the seniors and a bunch of computers for the juniors. You can have a bunch of computers and they share them together in a joint.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, thinking outside of the box.
Right.
We don't think outside of the box. We think what's here and don't look outside here. What the other cities are doing.
Right.
The other cities have it. If they don't have it, let's think about trying to make it work so we can have
Because
it.
we do that in the military. We have joint forces things. If things are the same,
Yeah.
like right now at March Air Reserve Base, you have one clinic. You have the Air National Guard, you have the reserves, and they work together using the same resources.
See, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, you have experience and you see it.
Right.
But as a city, we need to start thinking like that. We just don't think like
Right.
that.
I mean, why should there be a ping pong table at the senior center and a ping pong table at the youth center? You can have 4 ping pong tables that they both use in the same building.
I don't get it. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense why we just don't collaborate.
Our youth are overweight, so the seniors, they have a little yoga and their little exercising things. Now you have a joint class that they both can participate in.
That's something, like I said, that's something new outside of the box thinking, because why not? That's the question. Who is it? Bobby Kennedy said, some people see things as they are and say why. I dream of things that never were and say why not.
Why not?
You having that same philosophy.
Okay.
I think a lot of our city needs to start thinking like that.
Okay.
It's like I was talking about the baseball, the minor league. Oh, we can't have that. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? We need a feasibility study. The county supervisor might want to chip in because economically it would help us tremendously. We got so much young talent here that a lot of people come out of Moreno that were star athletes and they're pros now. Why we can't do the same thing?
Right, absolutely.
But anyway,
you're absolutely right. Now, in regards to the infrastructure of our warehousing infrastructure, now we have all these trucks running around. What is your stance on? We don't have enough. I don't see any control, patrolling, and putting tickets on these trucks. I mean, every day I see revenue by these trucks violating, and there's no code enforcement anywhere to be found.
well, that's the thing. I was here, been on the planning commission. Some of the things we asked those kind of questions is we need to increase the
Code
patrolling.
enforcement. Yeah,
For trucking, for
Right.
trucking,
Right.
code enforcement.
These guys are parking everywhere and anywhere, and nothing's being done.
We need more, not less, more.
Right.
And as far as your infrastructure question is, a thing is we don't have parking. We need a parking. Maybe we could do a joint use with the warehouse people, because it benefits them to have truckers nearby instead of parking in their driveways or
Right. And then I think there's parking over the 215, but with the truckers in the warehouses waiting for their loads, we need a parking.
But see, that thing, it makes it safer so so they won't have to be sleeping in their trucks all the time. Make it just something local. I mean, people have been talking about this again. Why not? See, that's the question. Why we can't have it? See, that's what the question needs to be asked. Why? Don't tell me you can't have it. Why?
Right.
Explain to me why.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. And this is kind of off the cuff question.
Yeah.
We have most of our department heads do not live in the city of Moreno Valley. What is your opinion of having people making decisions in the city of Moreno Valley that don't live in the city of Moreno Valley?
Well, I think, personally, I just think, like everybody else, I think you should live here, personally. I don't know why you wouldn't want to live here.
Right.
Maybe, unless there's, I don't know.
I mean, because how do you expect somebody, okay, like if I was working for the city of Riverside, I'm going to do the bare minimum to keep my job, and I could give a damn if they like it or not. Yeah, I brought BS jobs here, whatever, but hey, you guys deserve this, here you go. And I'm getting my paychecks and I'm doing what I got to do. But if I live in the city, I'm subjected to the decisions that I make because I live there.
Yeah.
What can you do as mayor? And I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I think, honestly, that you can apply anywhere you want to from anywhere to work in the city of Moreno Valley. But I think if you're the city manager, you must, to accept this job, you must live here.
That's reasonable. the question is it legal?
You're not excluding anybody. Anybody can apply.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But also at the same time, we got to make sure it pass legal muster.
Right.
If you can do that, that's a reasonable option to ask for.
Well, I know Dave Marquez. He lived in Marietta, and nobody said nothing about him sitting on the dais.
Well,
allegedly.
Personally, again, I think that if we have incentives,
aren't you supposed to be living in the city of Moreno Valley to be sitting on the dais?
Legally, yes. That's what the law says. That's what the government codes and election codes. But like I said, if it passes legal muster, I don't see why not we can require that. Okay. But the thing also, too, if we're going to do that, let's have some incentive program for people to live here. Okay. Because the thing is, I go back to we deserve to have the best. The best of everything. We shouldn't have to settle for when it comes to commercial centers. Mm-hmm. We should have a world-class mall. We should have world-class everything. Because I think we are much better than what people think we are. That's me personally. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this in regards to our infrastructure, of our truck infrastructure.
Uh-huh.
What happens when you have a bunch of trucks? It attracts a lot of lot lizards. What is your plan to discourage lot lizarding?
Patrol, policing. I hate to say that, policing. Mm-hmm. Because the only thing, because these lot lizards, as you call them, are going to go into the parking lot regardless. Right. But if you don't have any security, cameras or whatever, they're going to continue. They're going to continue if they not watch, or not only just watch it. Because some people, you can have security and they sit around like Barney Five with house shoes and a flashlight.
Right, and that's what they're supposed to do, observe and report.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to crack down on it.
Yeah, because I can tell you here in the Edgemont area, you've got trucks that are parking near parks, and there's somebody in the truck, and when the truck is a-rocking, somebody needs to come a-knocking.
Well, that again, we're supposed to be enforcing the law. So if we don't have enough trucking patrol, with code enforcement, whatever, we need to hire more people. We need wherever we need to meet the needs. If that's what's going on, then we need to give them the resources they need. You ask Chief Mack and say, "Hey, Chief Mack, she's the police, our new police chief. Say, hey, what do you need? Okay, you have issues with that. We get you the resources. Feasible, we get you the resources so you can clamp down on it, and let's have results from it."
Gotcha. And speaking of parking enforcement and code enforcement, if you've noticed, we have a serious influx of people parking on the streets now, kind of like LA, and they're parking right on the corner where you have to like put your car basically out in the street to make a right turn.
Yeah. And
because you're only supposed to be 30 feet from the corner is what you're supposed to do, but they're not doing that. And people are just parking where they need to park. What are you going to do to get a hold? I mean, you got people that have garages.
Well.
And it doesn't make any sense that you have all of these people that have all these cars.
Well, here's the thing again. It goes to enforcement. Mm-hmm. Ticket people. It's like people parking in handicap spots who don't have placards.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I just went to Catalina Island, and I was in Newport Beach. They are making a killing off of parking, metered parking, which is another way to generate revenue for the city of Moreno Valley.
Well, on the residential street, we have to look at.
Yeah, residential street is different. I'm talking about on the public street.
Well, that's something we have to look at. Look into because that's the only we have to how much it costs and the upkeeps and all that. But if it's feasible, that's something to look at.
I think it's feasible because you're going to make money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But if it's feasible, I'm just saying from being mayor point of view of things, if it's feasible. Yeah, why not? Because I make decisions without knowing what all the facts.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean,
but like what you're saying though, ideally that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. But to go back to your question, if people are parking, double parking, triple parking on the curb, ticket them. Right. That's the problem in our society. We don't hold people accountable for nothing.
Well, why should we when it's like it's Moreno Valley? Who cares?
No. Well, me being mayor, that we are going to be caring. Because we're going to put the resources out there to hold people accountable. If they're parking like that, if trucks are parking where they're not supposed to, they need to be held accountable. Because once you start, like you said, who cares? That's when you start having deterioration of the community.
Well, that's been happening. Because I can tell you right now, you can have a truck over here code enforcement goes home by 5 o'clock. Do you think the sheriffs really care about dealing with the truck when they've got to be on the east side of the city because of a home invasion?
Well, let's think about it like this, Donovan. It's leadership.
Sure.
It boils down to leadership, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have a serious talk with our chief and say, hey, okay, here's my concerns. We have these trucks parking in the, like you were saying, illegally parking in neighborhoods and things like that. We got people with placards who don't have placards parking in handicap spots. We got this going on. If whatever you need, I'm gonna get you the resources so we can crack down, because people need to be held accountable. This city should be about accountability. When you break the law, you should be held accountable.
Right.
And that answers your question. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about accountability. Every 4th of July, we have people shooting firecrackers and all this other stuff. I have yet to meet anybody who got a bounty for turning somebody in.
Well, here we go.
Right.
That's my pet peeve. Another reason why I'm running, because accountability. I work at Stater Brothers. I hear these freaking fireworks going off all day, all night, and people are not held accountable. We need reward. I don't care if it's $1,000, $2,000. Turn them in. Turn them in, because they should be doing it. Why have laws if you don't enforce them?
Exactly.
And so my thing is, I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of we're not doing anything. Well, we have the drones. You need more? Get more drones. But we need to hold people accountable. If somebody comes in and, well, it happened on my property, I wasn't there. You know what? You need to evict the people.
Right.
If they're doing that and it costs you money, they need to get out of there.
Right.
You need to get rid of them.
Right. As a matter of fact, there was a recent fire that was started. Where was it? I think it was somewhere near here.
Yep.
And it was started, and I think it was 868 acres was burned because the guy, it was something in the backyard he just started. It was like a Elsinore. I think it was Elsinore. Something real simple.
I think it was like Riverside.
Yeah,
So
Riverside.
and somebody,
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just something like, just something.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Donovan, because we this society, this community has come thumbing their nose at the law. I'm tired of people thumbing their nose at the law. If the mayor doesn't do anything about it, this mayor will do something about it. I'm not about lip service. I'm about getting things done. If people continue to flaunt, then we need to do something about it. We need to put our money where the mouth is, and get the resources, and let's hold these people accountable. Because when we start holding people accountable, you'll see the stuff stop.
Sure.
But I mean, that's just the point blank, man. It's about leadership, man. Because I'm just tired, just like you, fireworks. People don't care. The loud music going on all night.
Well, think about the problem with the fireworks. You got a lot of vets that were combat things.
Exactly.
You got a lot of wild animals. That's where we get our most influx of animals.
Yeah.
Is because of the fireworks. And animals get scared and stuff like that. So we got to do a thing, like you said, leadership. One of the last but not least things, the second to last thing I want to ask you. The city is where it's at. We've got a lot of great things. The one big problem in the city is always the problem that I always bring up, and it's the Edgemont area. And the problem with Edgemont is this. When I cross the 215 and I come into Moreno Valley for the first time, the first thing that I see is Edgemont. And we know there's a water problem, or there was a water problem, because the system is gone. I guess they've upgraded it. It's gone. So that's no more excuse of that anymore. But what are we going to do about upgrading the west side of Moreno Valley, which is the Edgemont area, to look better than 1970, early 1980s?
Well, a simple question is, we need a real renaissance in the old Edgemont area.
Sure.
And what I mean is, like residents like yourself and council member Baca Santa Cruz working together to come up with a plan. And I hate to say this, a plan, because everything has to start with. You just can't whack-a-mole everything. Yeah. But what we can do is get the residents in and say, hey, okay, how do we first start? What is the first thing you guys want to do over here in this area? Let's put the resources, and really, that's what something Roy's dad always talked about.
Absolutely.
Is Edgemont. If it's something I could do, being mayor, is to do something as Roy has talked about, is at least to have it where like the rest of the cities are. I mean, rest of the community.
Well, what it is I I've been in Edgemont for a long time, and we're not. I'm speaking for myself, but we're not asking for like big thing. What I'm saying is, it doesn't look good for the city of Moreno Valley as a whole when the first thing people see is 1970s blight.
Well,
because first impressions are important.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying. Because you remember when I ran for mayor in 2020, I think it was. It's getting our fair share of resources to make sure no community is left behind. That's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
It's having a plan with performance measurements of rebuilding Edgemont. How it should be, how you guys want it to be, and it takes all the stakeholders. It can't be you by yourself. It got to be other people who gives a crap about the area.
Yeah, but you know that's damn near impossible because most people over here are renters and they don't speak English.
Well, that should, like you said, it should be an excuse though.
Right.
We get interpreters. We do whatever it takes.
Well, the thing is, if you can't find the owners, which has always been the problem here, most of the owners are either dead or their kids live in another state. What I'm saying is, seeing that when you come across the border, I don't care if the city puts up a wall or whatever they need to do to kind of pitch that area when you come into it.
We got to put incentives over there. Maybe zones or something, investment zones over there.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a follow-up question that I wanted to bring up to you. As you come into Edgemont, you see the old businesses that have been there for years. Dragon House, Mino's Stereo, that little area where the VFW is. What can the city do? Because there was a lot of businesses during the WLC wars that were harassed, that lost a lot of money fighting all of this because of the developers' tactics. What can we do to make them whole?
Well, like I said, we could do sweat equity grants, like storefront grants or shopping center grants, where people could put sweat equity and we'll help you out. We'll reduce fees or eliminate fees so you can spruce up your facade or whatever you need to make it whole again. Because, like you said, Minos, if he needed something, hey, we got a grant for you. You just got to put some sweat equity in. We can build your place up, make it look good if that's what you want to. But we need storefront grant programs,
right? Because the storefronts in the Edgemont area, for those of the guys that don't come on this side of the city, they still look like they're in the late 70s, early 80s. So we need something to modernize them a little bit. And bring them up, because right across the street where the Jack in the Box is, that got a renovation and they modernized themselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these places, like on Alexandra, down where I live, you see some of these places held up with sticks or whatever.
Right, exactly.
That's horrible.
It's horrible.
That becomes more like a death trap for somebody who walks down by mistake and something happens. But the thing is, storefronts, shopping centers, we need to have a grant program, a shopping center improvement fund. With sweat equity. So you got to put some sweat into it. But we'll reduce the fees. Right, matching grant. There you go. Matching grants. That's something I would advocate for. Yeah, because I know there's money out there we could do, but I don't want to hear nobody tell me we can't do it because I'm not going to listen to it.
Right. And like I said, and when we get Edgemont up to where it is, I'm tired of people saying, well, I went to Moreno Valley and it looked like that. I said, no, you're on the Edgemont area. You got to go into Moreno Valley because we got some nice areas here. There's no doubt about that.
But like you said, it must be a pride in Georgia City because it's been here a lot longer than any of us. And so the thing is, we should, just like we said about the youth centers, Edgemont should be a priority too, and put our investment into revitalize the rebirth of Edgemont. That's, we got the lights, okay, but we need to do more. Right.
We're still waiting on the bathroom, but it's still coming. But again, and that would maybe keep some of our youth in the city. I'm tired of these young people. They're going to live their lives, but why should they leave if you're just going to go right to Riverside?
Well, that's what I said. We deserve to have the best. Every person I've talked to, we deserve to have the best of everything. Right. Edgemont should have everything like other parts of the city have. Right. You pay your tax dollars. Your money should be going somewhere. We should bring more money into Edgemont, make it look good, not only the inside, on the outside too.
Right, absolutely. And last but not least, I don't know if you've noticed this. Now, you've been here a very, very long time.
Okay.
And, when I go to city council, I haven't been there in a minute, but when I do go, I'm watching it on TV. I see the old guard is passing away there. The band is passing away. And a lot of these guys are city elders. I mean, they were here when the city started. They were here pre-city like that. I don't think... I'm very sure we have a city historian somewhere. I'm very sure we do. We got to make sure that these people are remembered in regards to their contributions to where we're at today. As a mayor,
Well,
can I get your promise that we will definitely keep these unsung heroes?
individuals that you're talking about are part of the city. It's part of the history, the whole history. Whether you like them, you don't like them.
Exactly.
They're part of the history because I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for Pete. I could tell you about Roy Hosman.
Yeah.
People probably wouldn't know Roy Hosman. Or George Albanese, John Hayes. I could tell you stories of them taking me home when I didn't have a car.
Right.
And I learned a lot from them. I learned a lot from Pete. I sat back there in the back with him, and he said, "You need to go up there and speak." I'm like, "Me? Why I need to go up there and speak?"
Right.
You need to let them know what you think about. And they would give me books about learning about COPs. I learned a lot from those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I sat in the back with my hoodie and warm-ups.
Right.
That's what I had on back
And
30 years ago.
Just doing it. And like I said, again, it was Mr. Pete
Yeah.
that got me involved during
See?
the WLC war. I'm seeing this guy who reminded me of Evil Knievel. And, Mr. Pete is, he's a legend around here, especially in the Edgemont area.
Well, he had institutional knowledge. And that's what I learned from him about Edgemont. If that's one thing that I think Roy was talking about the board of supervisors, is he didn't get to live long to see what could be.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm elected for at least for 2 years or whatever, I'm going to try to at least make his dream a reality.
Right.
Whatever it takes. Listen to Roy, because Roy, good. He's like a brother. All these guys, man. And, it's kind of strange, because a lot of people that I became friends with, we always didn't see eye to eye. But,
absolutely.
But it doesn't mean we hate each other.
Right.
We may disagree with each other, but we got a lot in common.
Right.
And so the thing is, we can work together to make Pete's dad's dream a reality.
Absolutely.
He didn't live long to see it, but if I'm mayor for at least 2 years, at least I could try to make a difference, to make a dream, and try to bring some unity and compassion back to the city where it needs to be.
Right, yeah. I just feel, with the city, and, like I said, we're still a young city.
Yeah.
We're still a young city, and we need to make sure that these people's stories are not forgotten.
No.
As this city continues to grow and grow and grow. And like I said, Tom Thornton, and there are so many people.
I can tell you.
And that's what I'm saying. I look at city council and I say, wow. And now we're stepping up, becoming the elder. Our generation is starting to step up, and we're going to be the senior.
Yeah, that's kind of.
And a lot of people that are still senior to us, if you really think about it, they can't continue to stand up for what they believe is right or what is right.
Yeah.
In the thing, they're going to have to have new people stepping up.
Well, that's what these young people need to do. They got to get off their duffs and go to the council meeting. Even if they want to talk about something simple, about like bike and soccer parks and all that stuff. But that's who I am today because of those guys. Because I was like you were saying, I was like one of those young people who sat back there with Pete, and I got to know him, and I got to know all Ray Hosman, all these guys, and I used to go to a meeting every single meeting. And we sit in the back. Some people, the city folks, don't sit back there with them. I said, why not?
Yeah,
that's some good people.
Yeah. They're clicking.
Yeah, they're saying you be like them. I say, no, well, if I am gonna be like them, at least I learned something because I didn't, like I said, I learned a lot because of those guys. Their education, they mentored me.
Yeah, I remember the funniest thing. I think it's probably one of them, and I think it's archived.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things is when we had that coup when they appointed LaDonna Jimson to the seat.
Yeah.
And it was an illegal appointment. Dave Marquez was involved in that as well, and everybody was talking and was upset about it. And then I got to talk, and like I said, and I learned this from Pete and the elders, and how to speak and whatever. Yeah. And I made it very simple. You want to communicate very simply. And I remember I said, you screwed up when Pete, Louise, and me fundamentally agree this is wrong.
Yeah.
And that, I think, really changed the dynamics of my relationship with a lot of people.
I think, when that period of time, because I mean, there was so
many
factions. Because I mean, there was sometimes I was on the opposite side of somebody. Somebody called me one time, you auntie.
Yeah.
I said, I got a aunt, but her name is not auntie. But I told him, I asked the guy, I said, you know what? Okay, tell me, we may not agree on this. Okay, what? Tell me some things that you are for. And we start talking. He says, I didn't know you was for that. I said, yeah, if you sit there long enough, you might find out we got a lot in common, then we have a difference. And that's what being a mayor, I should be able to do, is to bring people together,
exactly.
Regardless of if we have some differences. But there's a lot bigger. We love this city, and you love Edgemont. Yeah. And I know a lot of people may not admit it, they love Edgemont. Mm-hmm. But if there's something we could do as me as mayor and leadership role, is let's bring that energy and let's help out our fellow brethren over there, or sisterin over there, our small business community. They deserve to have the same as everybody else. And as mayor, I want to bring everybody together. I'm not. If you don't like me, so be it. That's okay. I can take it. Mm-hmm. If you disagree with me, it's okay. I'm not going to hate your guts. I'm not going to put something against you or try to destroy your life.
Right.
I'm not going to ever do that.
Right.
But maybe we could sit down, have coffee. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could sit down and have a pizza together. Because I know me and Lindsay, maybe, I call Lindsay my friend, but maybe I told her, I said, well, I'm not going to agree with you on everything.
Right.
And I said, but don't go up there and blast me because I disagree with you.
Right.
Because I won't do that to you, because I won't treat my own mother like that, my own family like that.
Right.
Because if we disagree, we're just going to disagree. But
that's what America's built on.
Yeah, but there's a lot more we have in common than divided.
Right.
And that's the kind of mayor I want to be. I want to be someone that's going to bring us together and just look for the horizon that we only can dream about.
Right.
That's what I want to do. We should have the best of everything.
Best of everything.
Yes.
I like that. But you guys, Darryl Terrell running for the mayor of Moreno Valley. Do not forget to vote. Early ballots are coming in. People are out there with the signage. We're in what they call silly season. This is something that we do here. And I'm going to tell you, you want a person with experience, knowledge of what is going on. This is the candidate that you need to vote for. He's not one of those candidates that's going to badmouth his opponents. Doesn't do that. He goes by the issues. And that's what's important to me as a voter. When I look at somebody, I want to know what the issues are, what is your policy, what's your vision, and make sure you come back and tell us a little bit more if something else comes in.
Well, that's what I've always said, Donovan, is the fact that I'm not a politician. I get things. I tell people that, look, I always go through that. I'm not. If I don't know something, I don't know something.
Right.
I'm not going to fake it until you make it. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you and say, if I don't know anything about it, I just don't know.
Right.
But I know there's people out there that do know that I can ask.
Right.
And that's what makes a leader. A leader should be able to listen to people, not just talk all day and talking to death. You should be able to listen what someone has to say, take it in if you ask questions about it. Because people don't get the real understand that, because when I'm elected mayor, that I'm have all the answers. I'm not. Because I'm going to count on you out there to help me. Because I don't care who idea is, as long as it's going to help our people, like people in Edgemont and other parts of the city to get what they rightfully deserve, their fair share of resources. So I'm counting on you to trust me that I would ask you. I don't care if it's your idea. I'll say your name. I'm not going to hide your name.
Right,
if it's Donovan, I say, Donovan had a great idea. Not saying because, we can't do it because it's policy. No, it's not policy. The man did it. He don't care about the recognition. It's just the fact that's what makes our community special, because we got people that care, and people should be respected that way.
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of mayor I will be.
And that's the kind of leadership we need. We need people with a vision, because the guy that's been sitting on there, and it's nothing personal. Politics is never personal to me, but he's too young. He doesn't have enough experience. at anything.
Well, and that's the thing about it. When you have experience, you learn to kind of shut your mouth and listen what other people have to say. Because it's like my dad told me one time. I can tell you guys this simple story. This is funny. I was, I think I was 12. My daddy was 31. So he said to me, he said, "How old are you?" "I'm 12. "And how old you think I am?" I had no idea. He said, "I'm 31. So you think you know more than me, and I lived on this earth a lot longer than you." Mm-hmm. That's the mentality we have in this city. We need to start zipping our lips and listen what people have to say. We need to start listening what the experts have to say, and then listen what the people out there in the community have to say. Then maybe we could come together to take this city forward. And that's why I want to be mayor, so we could take this city to a new horizon that we only could dream of.
Right, and and we need to change. Sometimes
Yeah.
if okay, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, you guys. I'm sorry, I've seen the memes. I know it's that time of year,
Yeah.
but guess what though? If you're a team or basketball team, and the team is losing, sometimes you got to change the coach.
Yep.
To go in a different direction that might motivate the players to bring out their best. Sometimes you got to do that. Unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys have been going through a lot of coaches lately. But anyway,
I'm a Dallas fan.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm sorry to hear that. But,
No, don't be sorry, because I've been.
Yeah, but like you said, there was a saying that was very, and I tell this to young people all the time. Mm-hmm. When wisdom is speaking, shut up and listen.
Yeah, that's the best advice.
Shut up and listen. So
you got a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of other people in this community do too. But sometimes we need the city people have so much. But you know what? There's people out there that got good ideas.
Yeah.
We need to start listening to those folks to bring those ideas forward and not shut them down or threaten them or whatever. We need to listen more to what the common man out there, because like you said, experience counts. Like I said, I work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I listen to people in my line that going through tough times right now. Mm-hmm. But as a mayor, we got to do something. And like I said, I don't have all the answers, but you guys out there do have the answers that we can use to help people right here in our own community so they could get through and so they can make it. We don't want people to give up. We want people to keep going and knowing that Moreno Valley, this is where the American dream soars.
That's it. It's part of our logo.
Yeah.
Our logo. All right, you guys, there it is. Darryl Terrell, candidate from the Mayor City of Moreno Valley. Please, please, please tune in. Starting next Wednesday, we are going to talk to this guy live on my community page. And also your community page as well. We're going to be live, and you guys could come in, ask live questions.
Yeah. I don't mind the question.
And again, if any of his opponents would like to that same opportunity to come and meet with you guys, because it is hard to meet with the people out there.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a great idea to and it's only going to be an hour. We're just an hour show. So I know you're busy campaigning. Yeah. So we'll just do an hour and just talk about whatever issues that come up. And if you guys got questions for this guy and ideas, we're more than do it. It's going to be Wednesday at 6:30.
Yeah. Okay.
Wednesday on 6:30, about 6:30 to 7:30, we're going to be talking to Darryl Terrell and seeing what he's got going on. So, guys, don't forget to tune in. IE Informer. I'm Donovan Sadiq, Inland Empire Informer, also known as a recovering Democrat. Also, don't forget to tune in with me on YouTube on the Demetra K Show, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays, and you will see me with my compadre Demetra K, and we're talking about all kinds of politics, all kinds of stuff. So, again, Darryl, thanks for coming on the program. And you know what? We need to change. We need another coach, and I think it's time.
Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, I tell the people out there, your listeners out there in Moreno Valley or wherever you are, so I hope in Moreno Valley, that you guys just understand. I'm not going to promise you that I will solve every problem, but I'm going to give 110% to ask you, because it's not me by myself. Mayor is one person, but the community as a whole, we can work together. And I'm going to listen to you, and maybe we will disagree sometimes. But don't hold it against me. Don't hate my guts because we don't agree.
Right.
I keep saying that because it's the truth. Too many friendships ended because
Politics.
Politics.
Makes no sense.
We can sit down and have coffee. whatever. But I'm open to suggestions on how we together can make this city the best place that you deserve to have. That's what I can promise you. I will work my hardest to make that what you deserve. Because I lived here for 36 years. I'm probably going to die here.
Right.
But I may not benefit from what I try to do in the next 2 years, but your generation or future generations will benefit from it. And that's the most important, is your generation and the next one after that.